rest for the wicked as Blackburn Rovers head down to Wales this weekend to take on Swansea City, who, if they are victorious this weekend, they'll go into the top 2.
However, you can't rule out a free score in Blackburn Rovers.
Right, folks, back once again with another match preview. This time looking forward to Blackburn Rovers' visit down to Wales to take on Swansea. We'll talk about that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash your subscribe button and keep you bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, World Football related. We're going to know here, boys, under one Ruski. That's right, boys. Of course, yes, Rovers having a difficult couple of days. Of course, getting spanked at home by league leaders Reading. But Swansea, on the other hand, just keep doing bits. And of course, they're actually competing right now for not only plus but also automatics. We'll talk more about that in a minute because we have some breaking news in regards to patrons. That's right, because just this past couple of days we've had not one but 2 brand new patrons. That's right, goodness gracious me. First and foremost, Ahmed Sohi came in on there and became a patron number 21. So respect to my brother for joining the VIP gang. I do appreciate the support that you give to the channel behind the scenes. Do appreciate it, of course. And of course, right behind it was Shane O'Donnell. Get in there, my brother. Support the channel behind the scenes as well. So welcome to the gang, the VIP gang. That's right, exclusive. The Blackburn. What am I calling him? The Brotherhood. The Broversies. The Brovershood. The Broverhood. That's what we're going to call it. Not the Mafia. The Broverhood. Anyway, good appreciation. Good thanks for, of course, joining the VIP gang. If you are out there and you want to support the channel in another way and join the exclusive Broverhood, get in the old description down there, patreon.com/Roverseas, and you could become the latest member of the Mafia. That is Blackburn Overseas, of course. We got the Vuvuzelas out. Why we got the Vuvuzelas out? Because we're excited, folks. The games are coming thick and fast. So let's get into it. Take a look at the next one, which is Swansea against Rovers. Here we go. Let's jump in the deep end now and take a look at it, shall we? So let's get into it now. Taking a look, of course, Swansea City up against Blackburn Rovers. Oh yeah, on a dark Halloween night. It could be Rovers. It could be Swansea who will be celebrating at the end of it. Will it be a trick or will it be a treat? Of course. Let's take a look at the men that matter these days. Of course, kicking us off with the hosts. Of course, Swansea, managed by Stevie Wotsa. That's right, doing a fantastic job in taking over the reins from Matey Boy, left to Potto, left to join Brown. Of course, he could be set himself up for also a bit of success for himself. Matt Grimes, ex-Rover. Of course, this is the Matt Grimes derby. Of course, former Rover there, now Capitano for Swansea these days. And Andre Ayew, of course, is the man pulling the strings or scoring the goals these days for Swansea. Of course, Ryan Brewster last season, but now the responsibility falls on the, was he Ghanaian? Something like that, but I don't know. Anyway, Andre Ayew, of course, the leading charge for Swansea. As for Rovers, just in case you don't know, Tony Murray is the man pulling the strings. He's been there a while now, so doing a tremendous job in my eyes anyway. Darren Hennon has been, of course, wearing the captain's armband. Elliot Bennett on paper is your man who is leading the charge if he's selected, but unfortunately injured, and right now there's no spot for him in the team. Adam Armstrong, of course, leading the charge in not only for Rovers but also in the division. He's in double digits already, so he is your danger man, of course, this coming match day. Does take place right here down in Wales and Swansea in the Liberty, of course. That's right. Yeah, not the most famous of haunting stomping grounds for Rovers. But of course, it's the home of our hosts this coming match day. Of course, it's not a bad looking stadium as well. So kudos for them. Let's get into it. Take a look at the stats then. That matter, of course, for Swansea. Your main man, we've already talked about him briefly, is Andre Ayew with 3 goals so far this season. As for second top goal scorer, it's Jamal Lowe, formerly of Wigan. Of course, he was only there this season. Of course, it all went tits up a little bit for Wigan. Of course, Bidwell's up there as well for the goal, and Fulton as well. As for the assists, Bidwell is your main man. He's got 4 assists already. That's an absolute crazy figure. Ayew's got 1. Robertson's got 1. I might have spelt Roberts wrong there. Can we correct that? Editor, can you correct that on the fly? I think I bloody well can. Yeah, there we go. I think that's more like it. Roberts with one R or 1 B, and Gibbs White also with an assist. But as for your yellow, Smith's got a couple. Ayew's got 1. Bidwell and Fulton as well. Kind of the familiar names cropping up across the place there. Bidwell, Ayew, and also Fulton knocking about as well. So anyway, those are your key men and the key stats and figures for you so far. Let's take a look at, of course, the attacking avenues and all that kind of stuff for Swansea. So let's get into it and take a look at our hosts. Of course, have been doing all right for themselves these days. So far so good. They actually scored 8 goals through open play, 1 through set piece, and 1 penalty so far. Their attacking avenues coming down the majority of the left hand side, actually. 40% of all attacking avenues coming down the left, 37% down the right, and 23% down the middle. As for possession wise, 42% of all their possession is down the middle third, with 30% down the in the attacking third, and also 28% down the defensive third for Swansea. As for their shots, let's take a closer look at the shots then, shall we? Moving on, where are we? There we are. 16% of all their shots have been in the 6-yard box, whereas 59% have been in the 18-yard box. 25% have been long-range efforts. They call them the Adam Armstrong effect in Ewood Park. As for whereabouts the shots take place, 21% down the left, 17% down the right, 63% down the middle for Swansea these days. How about the up-and-coming fixtures? Well, the past few fixtures have been looking like this. They did take on Stoke just the other day. I'll give you the dates in a minute. But they won. They won comfortably, and they're 2-0 in the end. Not too shabby for Swansea, of course. Looking good right now. Of course, prior to that, they took on Bristol City at Thrashton Gate. It was a 1-1 draw in the end. Good result that for Swansea, again, away from home. That was back on the 24th of October. Meanwhile, before that, took on Coventry, and they drew down at the St Andrews. Of course, that's where they're playing the football these days. So it was another point away from them. That's what you got to do. Win your home games, draw your away, and guess what? You're going to be in and around the discussion at the end. They did lose at home to Huddersfield, which is good. Gives me a bit of a belief that we could maybe get them on a bad day. 2-1 loss to Huddersfield, of course. That was all the way back in the 17th of October. Then if you go back a little bit further, they took on Millwall, and they also beat them, also at home. So pretty good form at home. At least they've won 3 of the past 2 of the past 3 at home. And all in all, what have they got? One win in the past 4. That's also a bit of some food for thought for Rovers to dig into this one. So let's get into it then. This is what's on the agenda. Of course, after Rovers, they're going to take on Brentford away days. They're going to take on Norwich also at Carrow Road as well. Meanwhile, as they enter deep into after the international break, they're taking on Rotherham at home as well, and they also take on Sheffield Wednesday at home. But we're all 4 wrapping up the 5-game stretch up against Nottingham Forest away from home. That's the most of the matter for Swansea. But let's try and see who's going to be actually starting the game. So let's get into it and take a little look at the potential starting 11. We're going to have to build this team ourselves. First and foremost, we're going to start with the first name on the team sheet for me for Swansea. It will be the Capitano, and it will be an ex-Rover, of course, Matty Grimes in the centre midfield slot there. Alongside him, we've got one of this fella, left back John. He's probably going to be left back in the change room, to be honest with you. He didn't feature last time around, so we'll put him on the touchline for the time being. Meanwhile, we've got Dianga, who is usually pulling the strings at the centre midfield spot, attacking midfield, number 10 perhaps role for him. Of course, Jamal Lowe has been starting more further forward in the attacking avenues for Swansea. And of course, main man Jordan Ayew definitely up there and definitely scoring goals, and definitely one to keep an eye on this weekend. Gibbs White, again, he hasn't been starting. He's been coming off from the bench, I think. To be honest, he did start the last game. I'm not too sure if he's injured or not, but in all honesty, I think he would play alongside Grimes in the midfield if he was fully selected. Of course, one of the players that we were looking at this summer was apparently, maybe, I don't know, Ryan Manning, of course, but he made the move to Swansea, so he was not wanted. Or I don't know, probably was wanted to keep you up, but of course, when Swansea come knocking, he went to walking down to Wales, of course, or up to Wales. So he'll be on the left hand side, and he is a good player. Who would you rather have, Manning or Douglas? Manning or Douglas? I don't know. Roberts, of course, probably on the right hand side. So these two sides, 2 attacking or decent looking fullbacks here, who will be roaring up and down those touchlines, I'm sure. Meanwhile, Bennett comes in, of course. Is he on loan from Wolves? But he's there anyway. Maybe it's a permanent deal. And alongside him, maybe Cabango. He might be in there, but we're going to put him on the touchline for the time being. Bidwell as well. Does he get in the team? No, he's been on the bench, really. Norton has been starting. We'll go with him as well. Woodman, of course, between the sticks. And Gengi is the other one, I think. I think it's going to be like that. Fulton as well. He did actually perform very, very well last time around. So you're looking at Gibbs White or Fulton in that defensive midfield slot, I think. So it's a difficult call to make, and unfortunately, I don't get to make those decisions. I think we're going to go with, why change it? Why change it? Having the likes of these guys on the bench, Bidwell, Fulton, Gibbs White, and Matey Boy, whoever that other guy was, Cabango. On the bench is definitely a good option for Swansea. A lot of defensive options, but Gibbs White is also a good strong midfielder in any case. Anyway, that's probably what the lineup will be for Swansea. Of course, we'll have to wait and see when the game comes around on Saturday. Meanwhile, let's kick it on forward then, shall we? And what do we have? Take a look at Rovers stats then for you coming at you. Of course, Adam Armstrong, 10 goals so far this season. Well, very good, very, very good. Johnson's got 3, Dunn's got 2, and of course there's a couple of guys in the chasing pack as well. As to the assists, Rothwell's got 2, Reckie Castell's got 2, and now Harvey Elliott is now in the top charts there with 2 as as well. As for discipline, Johnson's got 3 yellows, Lennon has got 2, and Gallagher has 2. As we head into the games and as to the fixtures, of course, we take a closer look at Blackburn Rovers. Of course, still scored a couple of goals against Reading, but unfortunately, we're on the receiving end of another defeat. We actually scored 13 from open play, 2 from counter attacks, 2 penalties, and 1 set piece. Meanwhile, the attacking avenues coming down the left hand side, 38% of all the time, 36% down the right, and 26% down the middle. As for our possession, 32% of all of our possession has been in the attacking third there, with 43% in the middle third and just 25% in the defensive third so far for Rovers this season. As for our shots, 4% of all of our shots are coming in the 6-yard box, with 57% mid to long range efforts in the 18-yard box. That's 57%, of course. 39% outside the box, and again, that is the long range efforts, of course. Adam Armstrong effect, of course. As for where the shots taking place, 60% down the left, 40% down the right, and 70% right down the middle, folks. Right down the middle. This is what's been happening for Rovers, of course, heading into this. Of course, losing the last match against Reading 4-2 at home. It's a shame, but we did spank Coventry away. They were down to 10 men, but that did make it a little bit easier for us. Meanwhile, we did take on Watford also away, and we got spanked as well. Meanwhile, we also lost to Forest 1-0 at home, which wasn't very good. And then all the way back, I think it was before the international break last time, we drew with Cardiff. On the horizon for Rovers, we do have Middlesbrough after this game. That'll be a midweek game next week, of course. Then it's QPR at home, back-to-back home games for Rovers, hopefully get some points on the board. It's actually a good stretch here for Rovers to get some points on the board. You know what? You could probably argue that we could get 15 points here if things were working out, but realistically, the Preston one will be an awkward one. So will Luton, and again, Luton actually double bubbled us last time around. So anyway, we do take on Luton down at Kenilworth Road on the 21st of November. That could be earmark it, folks. It could be the return of Bradley Dack on that game. Meanwhile, we'll take on Preston Off End away as well at Deepdale, and then we'll take on Barnsley at home as well. So yeah, big opportunity for Rovers to get some points on the board. Okay, folks, now it's the difficult task of trying to pick up our Rovers lineup these days, of course. Let's have a look at it then, shall we? Evans, does he start? Perhaps. We'll put him in there for the time being. Elliott, if he's fit and available, he didn't have a really good game last time around against Reading. He had a phenomenal game against Coventry. Yeah, I think he does get the nod over this fella here, which is Tyrese Dolan. He looks kind of creepy, doesn't he? I'll put him on the other side. Right, does he start right back? He did provide a couple of decent opportunities for goals against Reading, so I do think he'll be in there. Chappers, again, he's one of those from the bench, I think. Douglas at left back. We didn't. Again, it's about betting in time really for Barry Douglas. He's had a couple of bits of effort, and again, set pieces for us. We do lack quality. Holtby's your main man, but realistically, we still think I could do with something special for Barry Douglas. Sam Gallagher, unfortunately, not got much opportunity against Reading. Armstrong should start if he's fit. Of course, he's got goals in him, left, right, centre. Now here we go. Joe Rothwell's been out. He's been knocking on the door, and potentially he could be back for this action. So we're going to put him in there for the time being. And now defensive duties, that's where we're weaknessing at. And I think Ayala, without even playing, has just got himself into the squad. I'm going to put him in there, probably at the expense of Darrell Lennon, perhaps. That's going to be the tall call, the order of the tape here. Tribal for me, I think gets in over Corey Evans at the time being. Amari Bell, unfortunately, he will not be involved. Brereton, again, should start if he's fit and raring to go. Kaminsky should be in goal if he's available, but there's question marks around his availability. Holtby as well coming in, and right now Williams will be at left side of the back four. Nyambi as well. Where's Piers? Somebody get me Piers. Somebody get me Piers on the phone, or Pears, whatever his name is. He needs to be in this team, so give me a minute while I get Pears, because I think Kaminsky is out for with an injury. You summoned me, Governor? Yes, I did, me old mucker. You need to get in this team. Of course, Kaminsky's probably out. Unfortunately, he's been looking very, very good. Of course, very composed and a good bit of business from Rovers. Pears had a nightmare against Reading, but I don't think it was his fault. So the question marks will remain. Who is going to be in midfield, of course. Tribal looks massive. Let's reduce him down a little bit. So this is what I'm going to go for. This is the team I will choose, in fact. If Rothwell is fit and available, he will start. Meanwhile, if he's not available, then you're probably going to relegate him to whatever, and we'll probably push Corey Evans or Bradley Johnson. I think Bradley Johnson is isolating at the time being, so it'll be Corey Evans in alongside the Germans, of course. Nyambe for me as well is a big is always a huge influence for me, but I think Rankin Costello did nothing wrong in that game against Reading. You know what? It's a difficult decision that, unfortunately for me, and again, Mowbray gets paid the big bucks to do. But I think I would go with that. I love Nyambe, and he's probably usually my first name on the team sheet. But I think I'm going to go with a little bit more boldness with Rankin Costello. Anyway, I'm just cleaning up here. The rest of these guys, you'll probably find them on the bench, of course, including this man. Yeah, but that's my lineup for the game against, of course, Swansea City down in Wales, of course. But let's get on to it and take a look more at the game itself. What do we have next on the offering? Of course, the tail of the tape. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. In fact, let's talk a little bit about the governor here, because the governor has actually managed to get Steve Cooper twice in the past. Of course, the two managers locking heads for the third time, and the previous two have been 2 draws, of course. So Rovers needed to get one over on Swansea, of course. Anyway, Tony Mowbray's record against Swansea is not good. In fact, he's managed against them 7 times, and he's not won once. He's actually lost 4 of them and picked up 3 draws, of course. But heading into this, the two sides of the tape here shows on average Swansea City is scoring about a goal a game. Meanwhile, Rovers are scoring about 2 goals a game. We've also got more shots than Swansea, 17 to their 12 on average. On average, we both pick up about a yellow card a game. 6 corners apiece as well. Aerial duels, we slightly edge it. We do also slightly edge possession. We also slightly edge the old pass success rate, and also right now slightly average the average rating, of course. So a lot of this looks in favour of Rovers heading into this, but that doesn't really matter. Anyway, the last 6, of course, between these two sides in all competitions and all venues sees 2 wins for Swansea, 1 win for Rovers, and 3 draws, of course, including back-to-back draws, of course. There's actually been 3 draws on the spin, should I say. You're going to go all the way back to 2015 for Rovers' last victory over Swansea, and I think I was at that game. Was I at that game? I might have been at that game. Maybe I wasn't at that game, but it was a 3-1 for Rovers over Swansea. Chris Taylor, Rudy Gustett and Craig Conway all the way back in 2015. However, so 4 games without a win for Rovers, but also 3 games without a loss. That's both home and away. But if you take a look at the games over in Wales, we haven't won in Wales against Swansea all the way back to 2012, and that's including the time when we were both in the Premier League. Get in there. So not good for Rovers. It's not very happy stomping ground. However, last time around we did play them. It was a 1-1 draw. It was a feisty one as well, with a couple of red cards as well. Bradley Dack getting himself sent off. But yes, that's that. But in the grand scheme of things, these two sides have actually played each other, according to my knowledge, off the top of my head, 39 times in the past. There's been 13 wins for Swansea, 20 wins for Rovers, and 6 draws in the past. If you want to look at the bookies odds, and if you're a betting man just like me, occasionally, it'll be 11-8 for Swansea, 2-1 for Rovers, 9-4 is your draw on this one, going in favour, of course, with Swansea looking like the favourites of this one. What we've got going on here? This is a quick list of some of the players that have played for both Blackburn Rovers and Swansea. Pick your name out there, who you like the best. I would have to go, if I had to choose one of them in their prime, I would have to go with, of course we have Matty Grimes in there already. And in their prime, I was Lenny John Rose was just a bit before my time. I don't know how decent he was, but he's a familiar name of the Rovers. Shefki Kuqi, of course, was okay, pretty decent. Marvin Emnes, Chris Coleman, of course, he was a Rover as well. So some familiar names in there, of course. The Olsen twins, or at least one of the Olsens, anyway, in there. But anyway, take a look at the tail of the tape again between these two sides. What can we expect from this game? Of course, let's pop out of the old vortex here. What we can expect: Swansea City is strengths and defending set pieces, creating scoring chances, attacking on the wings, and also using through balls as well. Meanwhile, the weaknesses are avoiding individual errors. As for the style of play, they like to play short passes, attempt through balls often, play with a bit of width, attacking predominantly down the left-hand side, and a consistent first 11, and they also like to play pretty non-aggressive. However, Rovers' strengths are counter-attacks, creating long shot opportunities, creating scoring chances, coming back from losing positions, creating chances using through balls, attacking down the wings, and also through set pieces. We also have been very good at finishing scoring chances and protecting the lead. I don't think we are, but as for our weaknesses this year, last year it was not this, but this year is apparently aerial duels, defending counter-attacks, and stopping opponents from creating chances. Our style of play is possession football, taking long shots, short passes, controlling the game in the opposition half, and attacking down the middle. And we also let the opponents play aggressively against us. I don't think that's true, but so that's a quick synopsis of this game, of course. And you've heard a little bit what I've had to say. Now, what about DigiCast? What does she think will be happening in this match? Here she comes with her pickaroonies. Let's get into it. Digi, it's over to you. meanwhile, let's take a little look at what else happened this past few days out in the Championship, and of course kicking forward to the next weekend. So of course midweek matches are done and dusted finally. Let's have a recap of the games that took place on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Barnsley victorious, big wins over QPR 3-0 in the end. Brentford 1-1 draw with Norwich at home. Swansea, of course, this week's opponents beat Stoke comfortably 2-0 in the end. Middlesbrough also 2-0 victory over Coventry, of course. Wickham picked up a point against Watford. Surprise point in that one as well. Of course, we got spanked by Reading, but let's move on. Preston got spanked at home by Millwall 2-0 in the end. Derby County 1, Cardiff City 1, Luton Town and Nottingham Forest also picked up a score draw. Excuse me. Rotherham 3-0 victors over Sheffield Wednesday. Birmingham 2-1 winners over Huddersfield, lastminute.com winner. Of course, Bournemouth picked off Bristol City in the end. What's going to go on this weekend? Let's take a little look at it, shall we? Of course, Coventry against Reading on Friday night. There's Bristol City against Norwich. That'll be a fruity one as well. Luton Town against Brentford. That's pretty much a near London affair. Swansea City against Rovers. The game of the weekend, really. Of course, we will have a watch-along for this. We'll talk more about that in a minute. Stoke against Rotherham. Barnsley against Watford. Bournemouth against Derby. QPR against Cardiff. Middlesbrough against Nottingham Forest there. Preston North End against Birmingham. Millwall against Huddersfield, and Wycombe Wanderers will take on Sheffield Wednesday. This is the situation as it stands in regards to the table. Reading are your leaders at the moment by a good, 6 points at the moment, 6-point gap already. Bournemouth are breathing down their necks a little bit with Swansea. Of course, a win for them, they could go into the automatics. Millwall, Watford, and Bristol City in the top 6 as it stands. Norwich, Middlesbrough are breathing down their necks. As for the foot of the table, Sheffield Wednesday are going down as it stands. Wycombe and Coventry are joining them at the moment. Rovers sit in 12th spot, but a win for them, they could go as high as 8th, and we need a win to boost our confidence. And one thing that we are top to pops are is the goal scorers. So Adam Armstrong has got himself 9 goals in the league. Ivan Turner's got himself 8. Lucas Jow, of course, on his heels with 5 as well. Jed Wallace, Scott Sinclair, and Yaku Mighty on the score sheet as well for Reading. Meanwhile, as for the assist makers, Brian Membo's up there at top of the pops alongside Chris Martin, and Jake Bidwell's up there as well with 4 assists so far. Therese Campbell also got 4. As for the discipline, no one wants to be at the top of the charts. Ivan Sinchik has got himself 4 yellow cards. Penny Ruddock, Richard Stone also have 4 yellows to boot. And that, my friends, is just a quick synopsis of what's going on this weekend. Of course, we will have a Blackburn Rovers Swansea City watch along. Of course, Swansea City Blackburn Rovers watch along down at Wales. Of course, build up will start about 5 or 10 minutes before kick-off. So if you want to come by, make sure you stop around on the channel, smash the subscribe button so you don't miss a beat. Tick the little bell as well. Of course, there will be a little bit of you'll have a bit of notice. Well, that probably the slot for it will be created on Friday night, so you can see it and maybe click the old set reminder so you don't miss it, folks. So because of course we'll watch the game and hopefully you can see me break down into joy, because that's what we need. We need a Rovers victory, of course, heading into this one. It ain't going to be easy though. Swansea are a difficult opposition. I do expect them to probably give us a game, and if we can come out of it without a defeat, you know what, maybe we can kick on forward next week when we bring it back to Ewood Park, of course, taking on Middlesbrough, of course. So the games are just coming thick and fast for Rovers right now, and right now we just, for me, I just want to put this Reading one back in the back of my mind and forget about it and move on to this one. You know, if we play like we can play. We of course are threatening going forward. Maybe, you know, before the game against Reading, I was pinning I thought Derek Williams was the answer. I thought, you know what, with him in the team, we've not conceded a goal, but of course letting him fall at home is not great. And we did look very, very blindly in the blind, to be honest with you, on a Tuesday night. But maybe Ayala is the answer. So I think maybe playing him and Williams could be the ticket to ride, and hopefully the ticket to 3 points. And we'll find out Saturday. You can join me, of course, on the watch along. But until then, be sure to give the video some love and smash the thumbs up. Smash subscribe if you do. New videos every single day on the channel, whether it is stuff like this, FIFA predictions, we've got it all here under one roof. And also, if you want to join the VIP gang and support the channel behind the scenes via Patreon, check out the link down below, patreon.com/Roverseas. I'm trying to get up to 25 patrons, and I think I did say at the start of the week, actually said before these 2 came along, but if I can get to 20, as I said, if I can get 2 this week, I'll shave off the head. Shave not my head, but my hair. I've got those 2, but that was technically not before I said that. So if we get 2 this week, I'll shave off the hair. That's right, and we might even do it live. But that's it, my friends. Be sure to give the video some love, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Stay safe out there, whether you're trick-or-treating or whatever, because there are monsters out there. And how many monsters did you see throughout this video? Let me know in the comment section down below, because there is an answer. Until then, I'll see you soon.